I'm Dr. Norman Roy, and welcome. Today I'm going to be going over some demonstrations with you on an energy method of healing that I developed. It's called Total Energetics. Now, Total Energetics is a healing method that is a healing consciousness, energy-based method of healing. It allows you to find and remove the barriers that are blocking you from healing, that allow you then to create an environment for healing, which then allows the healing process to continue. Now, when you're doing Total Energetics, you don't need any kind of special equipment, tables, or anything. You don't need any prior experience in science or healing or anything. We've had in the seminar at the same time people who are brand new to energy work, to healing. We've had energy healers through different modalities, doctors, massage therapists, and people from all various walks of life. See, Total Energetics easily integrates into any type of healthcare that you're already using, whether it's traditional, alternative, or it can be a standalone technique. See, healing professionals can easily integrate this into their practice. The non-professional, lay person, everyday person can easily use this to help heal themselves and their families. And for that reason, I believe it really needs to be in every home. See, with Total Energetics, you're not diagnosing anything, you're not treating anything. You're basically returning that person back to a state of harmony, a state of wholeness, oneness, a state of betterment. And what you're doing is allowing them to tap in to that inborn, God-given ability to heal. Becca is my guest here today, and what we'll be doing is some demonstrations on Total Energetics. And the first one I want to show you is kind of a nice way in which you can really just balance the entire system. Okay? Can we just kind of turn around for me, please, Becca? And what you want to do is just kind of, if we just make a couple contacts. Now, there's a system, a step-by-step method that I do teach as far as what to do, but there's also methods you just kind of go kind of where you're led. So if I just kind of come right in through here and we just kind of let the process go, see, that's a sign that many times the body has now come right into balance. So you can also do is check the other side and make sure that's set, release that, and again, just kind of let that process go. If you turn around for me, please. Now I'm just going to check here and, okay. I'm going to just kind of do a muscle test here, okay? I want you to bring your arm up like this, and I want you to just kind of match my pressure. And see, that kind of goes weak. Now how did I know? Well, partially because being a chiropractor, I can see a little high right here, probably a little tight right up in here, okay? So what we're going to do is kind of, this is showing some restriction in here, is basically causing a weakness of the, what are the muscles. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go in and energetically, just kind of help challenge that. So we'll come in and release that. Let's recheck that for me. Hold. And again, it can be that quick, because what you're doing, when you're dealing with the energy work, you're working not on the physical realm. You're working at the energetic realm. So you can actually change the pattern, change the information right in an instant, okay? So we can do another one, just kind of a balancing, kind of like the whole emotions aspects and kind of the brain for all the things. So we'll just kind of come in here, hold here. And again, many times you will see this kind of a response. Now sometimes there won't be any response that you can visibly see. Sometimes you'll see simply some shifting emotions, and sometimes you will see something like this, okay? Again, what you're doing with this is basically taking your energy. Say this, I'm going to use as an example, say an energy that your energy is here. And if the person has something where they're stressed, where there's an energy imbalance, say their energy is down here. So what you're doing when you come in and make the contacts is actually bring their energy up to yours. It's kind of what we call entraining the energies. And then what you do when they're matched, you're basically at a state of resonance, so you kind of impart that healing, and that many times just override that conscious mind. So again, if we just kind of come in here, do a nice overall balance, it just starts to drop. Now, sometimes what people will say is, oh, are you pushing them? No, we're not. Again, you can do this on the body, but remember, you can also do this off the body into the energy field. So if we happen to just find a spot that needs to be just released in some way, we'll just kind of hold and let that just release. Okay? I know it feels pretty strange, doesn't it? And you can tell just by going through the system when you actually are complete. Like there's another, like right up in here is just one more. So we're just going to kind of let that balance through, and then we just let it just take effect. And it does. It does seem very strange, but it's very peaceful. It's very relaxing. Isn't it there?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, question for you is, have you ever done anything to actually feel the energy in your hand?
I have not.
Okay. Do you want to learn?
Yes.
Okay. It's kind of fun to do, isn't it? Okay. I'm going to have you do, to start with, just kind of take your hands, just kind of just rub them together like this. Just creates a little friction. And you can try this at home too, if you're doing this. Okay, now just take the hands, just kind of a couple inches apart from each other, like that. And just kind of focus in the middle of the hands. And after a while, you may start to feel something in there. Feel anything yet? It might feel like a tingle, it might feel a pressure, it might feel like a magnet. And just kind of do that for a couple minutes. See, you notice anything? Mm-hmm. Okay. Now just kind of bring the hands up a little bit. And what happens? It feels even stronger, doesn't it? Okay. Now what happens if you bring them even further away? It's even stronger, isn't it? All right. And let's go even further. And it's even stronger, isn't it? See? Now what happens when you bring them together? It almost feels like there's really, you can feel something almost like a ball or something in there. Yeah. And what you're doing is you're getting into the energy, creating like an energy ball, for lack of a better word. Now, this is one way to kind of let you know, you are dealing with something a little different, because technically what our rationale will say is like, hey, if I can feel something here, the farther out I go, the least I should feel it. But when you're doing this method, total energetics, you're tapping into the healing energies. And what's happening, once you make that connection, it will just keep getting stronger and stronger and stronger. So it doesn't make a difference if you're this close or this far away. You're still going to be able to feel it. Okay? Pretty wild there, isn't it? Okay? Now, what you do is when you're going to be, if you work on somebody, or you can do it on yourself. If you have a headache, for example, you can, wherever the headache is, get that sensation in your hands and place it wherever you feel it. Okay? If it's on a part of the body or shoulder, you can use one hand. You don't have to use the two. Or you can just, if it's your knee, you can put it right around both. Okay? And if you're working on someone else, you can do the same thing, just roughly where you put your hands, where their problem is, or if you just want to do anywhere. And you just kind of, again, feel that feeling that's in your hands, but now you're feeling it this way, and you kind of step into the energy and allow it just to take effect. All right?
Yeah.
Do you want to try it on someone?
Yes.
All right, good. Let's give it a go. I'm going to bring another guest up here, and I'll be right back with you. Todd has come and joined us now. So we're basically going to have Becca just kind of do some of the methods we talked about here. And again, never have done this before, right?
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to give it a show, right? We can give it a go for it?
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's go. Okay, have you do first. Now we're just going to feel the energy within the hands first. Everybody put your hands, place them like that. Kind of get that sensation in there. Okay? Roll them together, feel that pressure. And as soon as you feel anything, really you're all set at that point. You're also ready to roll. Got it? Okay, maybe turn around. And we'll just have Becca do on Todd what I was doing here for Rebecca. Okay, have it turn a little bit more for me there, Todd. Perfect. Okay, now I'm going to help you with this one here. Let's just go here and there. Okay? And you just kind of hold. And you see, you might even feel not only that, but you might even feel like the energy coming through my hand going into yours. Did you?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to do this a little differently now. I'm going to take my hands away and have you do whichever points you want to do. Just pick any two spots. There you go, good. Excellent, excellent. All right. Pretty wild, isn't it? Yeah. For the first time doing that, to feel it and have the response. Again, that you can turn around for me, please, Todd. Thanks. That's how easy it is to learn how to do this. Once you actually feel the energy with your hands and you make the applications, you're basically just kind of going in and you're actually stepping in to that field of the energy. And what you're feeling is basically that bringing up of the energy, that entrainment like that. And when they're equal, and you get that sensation under both hands, and you kind of release it, is when you generate the response. All right? Do you want to do one more?
Yes.
Sure. I know. This is fun when you first, especially when you first learn to do it there too. Okay. Do you want to pick anyone in particular, or you just want to do it around the forehead, or?
Around the forehead.
Okay. Let's have you do this. This is a nice one here that you can do if you do one on the, say, on the forehead or on the back of the head. It's a nice overall balancing one for the emotions, for stress. If you need to kind of just relax sometime, it's a nice one to do. If you have headaches, allergies, sinuses, anything like that, it works really good. But again, it can be done at any time, even if there aren't any symptoms. Again, we're not treating anything, you're just basically balancing the energy. So it's a nice way just to kind of bring yourself back into this nice state of relaxation and balance. Go ahead, let's see. So again, first, so Becca just kind of got the sensation of the energy in her hands first. Brings it up, and then right there you can tell whether there's a response. As soon as you get the physical response, boom, you know you have basically imparted that energy into the person. And sometimes they'll kind of drift off and they'll do their own thing for a while here. And one thing you do is you can do total energetics in any position. You can do this while they're standing, as we're doing here. You can do it when they're laying down. You can do this when they're sitting down. You can do this while they're walking. You can do it at any time. And that's the beauty of it. But if you do this when they're standing, you want to kind of do more or less what we're doing here now. It's kind of like spotting, holding just in case they really do kind of start to go into this state of, it looked like it was unconsciousness, but they're very much aware of what's going on. So even when I was working on Becca, and as you can see we have with Todd here, it looks like they're going into a trance state, but it is a very deep state, and they are totally wide awake at this point. It's a place that they're kind of, a lot of time will do their own healing inside at this point here. And so things that are going on, they'll kind of go through and just clean it all up on their own. And you don't have to go in and find out what it is. They do it themselves. There he is.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Todd. And sometimes what will happen when you're doing this, you'll have a very quick response. It could be just a second or two. Sometimes the person will actually go into this state just for a couple of minutes. And there are times that we've had people go into this for quite some time, up to a half hour or so. So it's whatever needs to be done, they will do. Again, you are facilitating the process, they're doing all the work. So it's a totally safe procedure to do because you're just releasing the energy where it's stuck and allowing the process to naturally continue as it has to go. Any questions, Dodd? No. It's a nice relaxed state. And we're going to have you kind of relax over, have a seat over there, and we're going to bring someone else out, okay? And this is Jess, who is with me now, and I'm going to do some other kind of demonstrations here also, as we can kind of balance the energies around the body. So this one here, if we just kind of, again, what you're looking for in feeling, you remember when we did earlier, if you put your hands together and you feel that sensation that's within your hands. Well, when you go to basically check someone's energy field, this is what you'll feel. You'll feel that same sensation. And when you feel that, you know that's an area that you're going to be working on. So if I'm kind of coming in like this, and I'm not having any sensation at all within the hand, but if I come right here, it's almost like there's kind of a block right here. So what I want to do is you want to have 2 points. So I'll just find another spot, and when I get right over here, again, I'm feeling that same sensation, and I just connect the two, allow the balancing to occur, and again, you can kind of just keep moving the hands back and forth. You can kind of keep them still. It's whichever, you would prefer. And what you're doing is you're actually letting the energy field actually guide you as far as what to do. So if I'm holding here, okay, that's free right now. So I'm just going to go if there's another spot. We're feeling one here. Again, that's that sensation when we had the hands together. And you just kind of just keep going until actually you just find them, let them release. Now at that point is I'm picking up everything clear. Now, so my job is done. Now the person may go through this process. As I mentioned, sometimes they may just start to like go into their own little place, and it may look like they're trancing out, it may look like they're just kind of going to sleep, it may look like they're just kind of going inside and really doing some thinking. This is a perfect way too, for example, at this point here, if you do self-hypnosis, if you do meditation, any kind of prayer, do this either to yourself or have this done to you, and then go and do that internal work. And it'll really amplify that healing part for you. There. How's that doing, Jess?
Really good. Really good.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So, Becca, you had your first experience dealing with the energy work there. Went pretty well, looks like there, huh?
Yeah.
It's kind of easy to learn. It was fun. Okay. You know, sometimes, well, a couple questions sometimes people may ask me is, you know, how much pressure do you use, for example, when you're working with someone? Well, if you're working into the energy field, obviously you know there's no pressure. You're just feeling the energy. But how much pressure are you using when you're actually with a person? And if I'm coming and making a contact like that, you're basically just touching the area, okay? You're not like pressing down, you're not making a mark. In fact, you're just very gently touching, just barely touching the area. That's all you're doing, okay? Because again, you don't have to do this on the body. You can do this in the energy field. So really, it's just the lightest contact that you can do. Sometimes people say, well, how long does it take to do one of these sessions? Because some energy methods will go and they have the protocol, and they may take 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or an hour, and that's totally okay. And you can do that also with total energetics, but lots of times what you can do is once you make the contact, get the response, you're done. You really don't have to stay on any longer. It's kind of like if you go to turn the light switch on. Once you turn the light switch on, the light goes on, you don't have to keep your hand on the switch. The job's already done. Well, it's the same thing here. When you make the contacts, and we get the response, we're done. And that's all it takes. So that's why it can be very quick. And again, you can really just fine tune what areas of the body you want to work on. You can find out what emotions you need to work on, what times of life need to be worked on, okay? And most of the time, the things that we think about that are going on, they're way down in the subconscious where you really don't realize, you don't even remember, okay? So for example, if you want to kind of clear something up that, say, happened in the past, you can just make contact here, and you can just kind of go, okay, now when was that? This happened, something that's going on, and you may not be aware of, was it 5 years ago, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, 8 years ago? And that's when we basically call traveling through time, which you actually get the current energetic state, and then you're simply going back, where was that energy shift locked? And how do you know? As you go basically through it, and you're mentioning the time frames or the ages or the years, the energy is kind of picking this up, and the subconscious is throwing the messages up. And when it matches, there's that entrainment again. The energies have matched. And once they do, then you get the response. Okay? So it's kind of total energetics is a nice process to do. It can be used basically for a lot of different things. It can be used for chronic pain, even though it's not for that. It can be used for different symptoms, illnesses, diseases. Again, even though it's not for that. Because you're not diagnosing anything. You're not treating anything, as I said prior. What you're doing is simply bringing the person back in, as I mentioned, to that state of balance. So you can use this for any avenue in any part of your life. And there's actually one of my students who kind of gave the best definition that I could think of there. And she turned around and says, you know, with total energetics, you can heal yourself and heal your life. And with that, I'm Dr. Norman Roy, and I'll catch you next time as our conversation continues. It really finds you to fine-tune what's going on within the whole system. And with total energetics, we're basically looking is the person is a three-part person. Remember, they're physical, they're emotional, and they're spiritual all at the same time. Now, the physical looks like, again, it's the physical. And the only reason it's physical is because basically the energy is at a lower vibration.